The story begins with an orphan boy named Lin, who dreams of becoming a cultivator as he celebrates his 18th birthday. An old man suddenly knocks at his door, and the lights in his room go out. He looks around with his spiritual eyes, but he still can't make sense of what's happening. The old man bursts through the door, calling out his name, and they both disappear. They are transported to the boundary between the mortal and spiritual world, where the man asks him to accept the system as he suddenly summons a red ball of energy. Lin demands an explanation, so the old man tells him it's just like the stories where the protagonist is given a cheat skill. He directs the energy into Lin's body, fusing it with him, and it initializes the war god system. A scroll suddenly opens up in front of him, and the man explains it's a recommendation letter, which will help him get into the Jushao Magic Academy, the top academy in the spiritual world. The old man thinks he will need some time to think about it, but Lin instantly accepts, saying he doesn't have anything tying him down in the mortal world. He wonders why he was chosen, but the man just flies off while laughing, glad that he got rid of his unlucky item. The tiny robot comes out of his pocket, introducing itself as the system's spirit and revealing that it's only visible to him. A strange light suddenly appears, as the system informs him about a cultivator who is stuck within the teleportation space channel. Lin wants to help, so the system teaches him how to absorb energy. He tries it out, and he absorbs the energy from the source of light, opening a portal as a girl flies out. She ends up landing on him, but Lin finds her super cute. The girl checks up on him, offering to help him up. As he touches her hand, the system detects this and gifts him a new outfit to enhance his image, changing his appearance. The girl introduces herself as Lana, and he tells her he's from the mortal world. She's surprised to hear this, but he shows her his recommendation letter. He follows her to the Magic Academy, which is revealed to be a continent floating in the sky. There are countless students flying by, and they hear the crowd chanting in the distance, so they check it out, and they see a monolith. Lana explains that their class will be decided by the monolith, based on their cultivation level, and over 10,000 new students will be divided across 100 classes, with the geniuses all being assigned to Class 1. They see it in action, as it measures the cultivation of a 9th stage newcomer named Wei, assigning him to Class 1. The next participant named Cheng steps forward with his recommendation letter, which impresses the crowd, because only true geniuses get recommended. Cheng takes the test, and the monolith reveals he's already in the spirit nurturing level, so he earns his spot in Class 1. Lana is called up next, and she's revealed to also be at the 9th stage, so she also makes it into the class. She tells Lin she'll be waiting for him to join her, as he gets called out next. Lin nervously walks forward, thinking he's never cultivated before, and he shows his recommendation letter. As the instructor Ying reads the letter, she's surprised to learn that it's from Master Lu, a legendary master who has attained immortality above even the gods. The numerology instructor Mingyun assesses Lin's power, saying he will bring forth miracles that will shock the world. The crowd starts cheering for him, and Lin touches the monolith, but everyone falls silent as the monolith announces he's at stage 0, but he still gets a spot in Class 1. Mingyun mentions this is the worst enrollment score for the class, so Lin walks away disappointed, as he passes by a 3rd stage cultivator named Lu, who seems to dislike him. Lu takes the test, and he's assigned to Class 100, causing him to despair, and he thinks it's not fair for Lin to be in Class 1. Everyone starts to accuse Lin of pulling strings, and Wei steps forward, imploring Mingyun to withdraw the result, agreeing with Lu. Mingyun tells him it's impossible, so Wei challenges Lin to a fight. But Lana quickly flies away with him, apologizing for not knowing he was level 0, telling him she will protect him as she takes him to the dormitory. At night, Lin wonders what he can do about his haters, and the system suggests upgrading his level, as it shows him quests he can do to level up. He gets a quest to do 10 push-ups, which he easily completes, leveling him up to the 1st stage, boosting his strength so he can do a push-up with a single finger. He does some more quests, and he easily reaches the 3rd stage by only doing push-ups. But he realizes he can't get any stronger from doing push-ups, so the system suggests he ask Lana for advice. Lin leaves the dorm, but he suddenly gets ambushed. He uses his spiritual eyes to dodge the attacks, as he assesses the man's spiritual level, learning that he's also at the 3rd stage. The man continues his assault, managing to land a punch, which pushes Lin back. Lin uses his new speed to move around, and the man can't keep up with his movements. The man is surprised to see that Lin is already behind him, and Lin kicks him away. The man is revealed to be Lu, who asks him when he reached the 3rd stage. Lin claims he's a genius, so he can level up his cultivation in a matter of days. Lu pulls out a talisman, as the system warns him that he can't block or evade the attack. It suggests using the Heavenly Gateway to melt the talisman's power, but it's an extremely risky move. Lu throws his talisman, but it suddenly explodes as Lana joins the fight, pointing her blade at Lu. At that moment, they see another Lu at their dorm's entrance, calling out to Lin, and this makes them confused. The enemy suddenly attacks Lana, but Lin blocks the attack, using the Heavenly Gateway to melt the man's power. Lana swings her sword, pushing the man back, and he quickly retreats. Lin falls to his knees, realizing the move's backlash is really powerful, as Lu arrives, trying to pick a fight with him, but Lana scares him away. Lana suggests seeing a doctor, but Lin says he's okay, claiming he's about to break through to the 4th stage. Lana thinks she wasn't able to help Lin, revealing she came to the academy to obtain the power to protect others. She thinks Lin will be amazing in the future, but until then, she wants to protect him. The next day, he recalls how he was attacked, thinking Ying would investigate the incident, but she just congratulates Lin for becoming the enemy of the entire school. During cultivation class, he's surprised to learn that the instructor is a tree named Qing, and we learn he's a tree because it is the form his cultivation has taken. Lana tells him about another person with a recommendation letter, who is already at the spiritual nurturing level. A woman named Su enters the portal, and Lin uses his spiritual eyes to see her level, but he can't because her level is too high. Qing begins the class, saying he sent a trail of the cultivational realm for their enlightenment, and he tells them to pay attention, but he immediately ends the class. Lin is surprised to hear this, but he notices that everyone is meditating, so he uses his spiritual eye, and he realizes that everyone is surrounded by energy. Lana reveals the cultivational realm can only be sensed, and Lin realizes he missed out, saying he will just get it in the next class. During swordsmanship class, the sword introduces himself as their instructor, and he begins the class, sending out some energy. Lin doesn't feel anything, but as he turns around, he sees everyone meditating, realizing he missed out again. In the next class, he sees a fireball, and he immediately recognizes it as their instructor, but he has no idea what it's talking about. After that, Ying serves as the instructor of the mortal class. She immediately appoints Lin as the class representative, and she gives everyone a cell phone, telling them to play with it for the entire class. Everyone starts performing the task, but Lin is confused, asking Ying why they are doing this. She reveals the mortal class is like a PE class, so he should stop complaining, and this makes Lin sad, because he really wants to learn. Mingyan welcomes everyone to the numerology class, as he gives everyone an overview. Lin is happy to see that it's like a proper class, but he tells everyone to go to sleep, and write down what they dreamed about. Lin suddenly becomes drowsy, but before he falls asleep, Mingyan tells him he has a bloodbath waiting for him after he wakes up. After some time, Lin wakes up with Lana calling out to him, and he realizes they're now in the middle of magic class, where Ying wants to hold a magical sparring session. Ying wants Lin to spar with Cheng, so he walks forward, but Lana stops him and attacks Cheng with a fire skill, but he easily blocks it. Lana runs around and continues to pressure him, but he single-handedly pushes her back. Lana charges again, but Cheng blocks her attacks, telling her to stand down as she takes to the skies, covering herself in flames. She dives toward Cheng, who uses his barrier to defend himself, and the system advises Lin to use his spiritual eyes. So he follows its instructions, and he learns about the weak point of Cheng's technique. Lana rains fire on Cheng, but the barrier protects him, and he's about to make his move. But Lana strikes his barrier, managing to crack it, and she tries to destroy it. But Cheng says she still hasn't cultivated enough, blowing her away, and using a skill to push her to the ground. But Lin gets in the way, using the Heavenly Gateway to protect her, and this creates a shockwave, covering the area in smoke. Everyone thinks he's done for, but they're surprised to see that he's still standing. Lin activates his spiritual eyes, and he launches an energy blast with his fist, but Cheng easily dodges it. He wraps his chains around Lin, and delivers a devastating attack, but he stands his ground, and he manages to counter Cheng's technique. He realizes that his barrier has been broken, and the chains shatter, allowing Lin to move. At that moment, Lin reaches the 4th stage, which surprises everyone, because he was able to do it in one night, and the system tells him about the next upgrading quests, saying he needs to absorb spirit stones. Ching admits defeat, saying he's impressed, and Ying welcomes him to the world of cultivation. The elder named Yuhua suddenly appears, saying something went wrong at the battle for freedom, so Ying dismisses the class, and she takes her leave. Ching approaches Lin and Lana, saying they have great potential, so he's willing to help them. Lin asks for spirit stones, but Lana is surprised to hear this, thinking he's asking for money, as she reveals that spirit stones are the currency of the world. So he becomes embarrassed, but Ching gives him a ring, which is worth 5,000 spirit stones. Ching walks away, asking Lin if he's also a military enthusiast, and we learn that they have something in common. So they start to get along, and Ching invites Lin to watch war movies at his place. Sue approaches them, thinking they're good people, so she wants to be friends with them. She wants to study Immortal class with Lin, and he tells her to look for him anytime she needs help. We learn that the Battle for Freedom is an annual survival contest, where all the disciples are required to participate. The system issues a special quest, saying Lin needs to be in the top 50 to receive a spiritual weapon, and it warns him that he will turn into a girl if he fails. Lin has a dream about turning into a girl, causing him to become terrified, but he suddenly wakes up, realizing that he needs to get stronger because he doesn't want to fail the quest. He absorbs his spirit stones, allowing him to reach the 7th stage, and the system informs him that his body has become stronger. He tries punching, and he realizes that he can throw powerful punches in rapid succession, so he thinks he has a chance to finish the special quest. Lin asks the system to tell him about the Battle for Freedom, so it shows him a map, telling him that the event is a large-scale battle, where more than 50,000 students will participate. The exercise area will gradually shrink as the participants are eliminated, until only one of them is left standing. Given his current capabilities, his rank is 29,653, so he freaks out, knowing he only has 1 month left to prepare, and the system reminds him that everyone hates him, so they're going to hunt him down. He thinks he's going to fail the quest, so he asks his friends if they're going to accept him if he turns into a girl, but they think he's gone nuts. So he becomes embarrassed, realizing that he needs to complete the quest, or his life is going to be ruined. Lin asks the system to show him the next upgrading quest, and it reveals that he needs to defeat an enemy who is at least at the 9th stage, but he knows he isn't strong enough to do this. The system adds that he has just unlocked the technical skill quests, so he can use the essence of the mountain to learn a god-level skill. It mentions that if he completes the upgrading quest, his ranking will increase to 4653, so he thinks about asking Lana to lose to him on purpose. Lana reveals she's already at the 10th stage, and he's about to ask for her help, but he's too embarrassed to say it, so he ends up asking for the essence of the mountain instead. He goes to Cheng, asking him to lose on purpose, but he refuses, telling Lin not to rely on evil practices to cultivate. But Lin begs him to do it, and Cheng agrees to this, saying he will tell him his weakness, but Lin doesn't want him to share it, seeing it as a vital secret, so he thinks about returning to Lana. Lin kneels before Lana, as he makes his request to do a sneak attack on her, but she notices that Lin is nervous, so she thinks he's trying to confess his feelings. She also becomes nervous, saying it's okay, because they need to help each other as partners, and this makes him happy. He returns to Cheng, saying he wants to learn a new move, so Cheng teaches him a binding technique, telling him to use it on Lana. The next day, Lana gives Lin the essence of the mountain, but he suddenly uses the binding technique, and he's about to attack her, but she starts crying, so he hesitates. A stone causes him to lose his footing, and he ends up touching her chest, causing her to become upset.